Hey, Ray. Uncle Billy here, and today's a little different. This isn't about like Skylar or anything like that. I thought I'd talk a little bit about like 5 things you do not want to do when getting tattooed. Before even getting tattooed, don't say that your buddy can do it cheaper. Why'd you come to us? I mean, it's because your buddy sucks. You know it, and you want something of quality work. So that's number one. Don't come in and tell us that your buddy can do it cheaper. Fuck off. So, second thing is don't be an asshole. You know, if your artist tells you that it won't work, it's because it won't work. It could be a variety of different things. It could be, you got old skin, you got young skin, you got shitty skin. You don't drink enough water. You don't moisturize. You don't, you're out in the sun all the time, like bikers. Fuck bikers, man. Their skin is shit because they're always out in the sun, and they sleeveless and they're shirtless. No sunscreen whatsoever. So yeah, like bikers are pretty hard to tattoo. They just yeah, they kind of suck. And then it's, if you don't, like, so for instance, a lot of people will come in and say, oh, I want to get this on my finger. Okay, well, fingers don't tattoo well. I mean, I've got I've got a bunch on me, and like, that. So what that is bee, fly, bitch. So it's a bee, a fly, and a female dog. So bee, fly, bitch, and it is what it is. I mean, is it great? Is it perfect? No, but I know what I knew what I was going for. Another one is on the inside. It doesn't. That's been touched up a bunch. When I first got married, my first marriage, we got our wedding rings tattooed, and that has been touched up 3 times, and it's mostly gone. And I will never touch it because it was with me and Julie. So, I mean, I've got my hand tattooed. The first time I did that, this part just sloughed off. Like after like 2 weeks, this was almost gone, and it's been touched up, and it's still healed like shit. So just to let you know, there's another one. It's my carrot. So I can dangle my carrot. But it healed like shit as well. So just know that some areas don't tattoo well. The bottom of the feet, the side of the feet doesn't tattoo real well either. A lot of times it'll blow out. The side of the hand, it doesn't tattoo well. Now, as an artist, I didn't really care. I knew what it was going to look like, and I know, that my buddies can touch it up, but we did that for each other, so that's number two. Now, number three, and this might be the most important one as far as I'm concerned, don't smell. Like, take a shower, wear deodorant, brush your fucking teeth, use some mouthwash, have some breath mints when you come in, because if you know that you've got like halitosis, or you just ate a fucking cheeseburger with a bunch of onions and bullshit on it, make sure you fucking don't have bad breath, because that is, when we're talking to you, we're in close contact. We are this fucking close almost all the time. And if I got to smell your body odor, or your fucking breath, like your shoes even, like I can't tell you how many times I've, what the fuck is that? Oh, it might be my shoes. Oh, you're a fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here. So don't smell. It's Don't wear perfumes and colognes. Like, we don't like. I've always had a hard time with colognes because and perfumes, because I used to get headaches really really bad, and that was a trigger. A cologne was a definite fucking trigger. So another thing is bring snacks. You know, like, especially if you have blood sugar issues. You know, eat a good, lunch or dinner or something before you come in. That way you're ready to go. Because tattoos can take hours, hours. So and it's draining for everyone. So bring some snacks, but here's the don't. Don't be excessive with it. Don't come in with two 2 liters and a grocery bag full of shit. You know, and I speak from experience because I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen. There was one guy. He wasn't my client. He was a client of a guy that worked for me. But this guy probably weighed, if I had to guess, he probably weighed 350. No, he had to be 400, 500 pounds. I mean, he was huge. I mean, he exceeded the weight limit of the chair. It couldn't be lifted because he was so heavy. So, I mean, it probably could have been lifted, but man, that's a lot of strain on those chairs. Anyway, he came in, he smelled bad. Like, anytime he came in, if I didn't have a tattoo going on, I would leave. Because my buddy would put a fan on to blow his smell away from him so that he could stand, just could stand tattooing him. And it was horrible. I mean, it was miserable. And he would come in with 2 2 liters and he would drink both of them during a session. I mean, he just drank from the bottle like it was a fucking 16 ounce. The other thing that he would do is he'd bring in literally like a Walmart bag full of sometimes 2. He'd have chips, he'd have candy, he'd have all this shit. No wonder he was like 500 fucking pounds. And I mean, he was a nice guy, don't get me wrong. And then I will say, like, as a pro tip, like, if you know your artist and you know what kind of snack they like or a drink that they like, bring one in. It's so appreciated. Like, if that they like, Coca-Cola in a glass bottle, bring them one. Like, don't be excessive again. Don't bring a ton. But bring one. It's really nice to do for the artist. They appreciate it, trust me. So, now, here's a bonus. Once you're in the chair, don't talk with your hands. Like, understand that, be aware that the artist is working on your body. And be aware that your movement, affects the ability, to permanently, like, mark you. A wiggle line might be your fault. So, and then I guess another kind of bonus is if you're wanting an apprenticeship, go in, find an artist that you really like their work, because you want to make sure that the artist you're learning from can actually do what you want to do. So get some artwork from them. I mean, the best way to get somebody's attention and talk to them and become friendly with them is to sit in their chair. If you sit in their chair and you get tattooed, they're going to talk with you. They're going to help you. At least understand. Now, you don't start off with, like, as soon as you get in the chair, be like, hey, I want an apprenticeship. What you do is you go in and you build a rapport. Become friendly with them. And then maybe, one day, like, show them your portfolio. And just be like, hey, I was thinking about getting into this. I'm not sure if you're interested in taking on an apprentice, but maybe somebody that is. Somebody that it would work with. And yeah, that's mainly it. Don't be an asshole. I guess that's really just about it for today. So, yeah. But if you want them to take you seriously, be nice, be friendly, and don't be pushy. So, and just wait till the right moment arrives. Maybe you have your backpack with you and you got your portfolio in there. And, something comes up where you mention that you draw. And you can be like, oh, you want to see some of my work? Let it start naturally. All right? So, hopefully some of this helped. If you like, hit like. And if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe. So, The other thing I can say is to check out the link I'm gonna put below to follow for the school. And if you wanna get on here in YouTube and you're not really sure how to start, they got a 7-day free trial. Go ahead and check it out. Kevin and Michelle are awesome. Love them. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. See you later.